Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Roger Daniel here for the Magnificent World of Toys. Welcome back for another awesome episode of the Clan of Fiends show. As you can see, we have our usual suspects, Travis at the Enemy Planet, Jack at Graph Angel 1. And also today joining us, we have two special guests. We have Isaac Ramos, also known as at RealFanShitOnly.
Yo.
And Jesse, also known as Hackem Figures. So, guys, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jack, Graph Angel 1 Art. I don't know, been doing a lot of hunkering down in 2020, wearing my mask and hiding away from people inside my Pokeball, but have managed to collect a cornucopia of fun crap to share with all of you.
Hi, I'm Jesse, known as Hackem Figures, toy photographer, YouTuber, toy reviewer, and it's crazy. I'm actually announcing this right now, but I just recovered from COVID-19. I've been in quarantine like fucking 14 days since like mid-December. It was the worst, but I'm back now. It's good. And 2020 sucked, but it didn't suck for collecting because I got a whole bunch of shit. Sorry I'm cussing. I don't know if we can cuss or not. I got a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, I mean, this year was, I think I've collected the most stuff I've ever collected in 1 year this year alone. So got a lot of cool stuff.
Hey, man, glad to hear you recovered, man. That's heavy.
Thank you.
I'm Isaac Ramos, RealFanShitOnly, RFSO, longtime toy collector. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, guys. I definitely got a couple fun things this year. Didn't go too crazy, of course, but you know, got to support all my hobbies, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely toys, definitely a lot of cool stuff came out this year.
Hey everybody, this is Travis reporting live from the Enemy Planet. You probably know me by now if you've been watching the channel at all. This is the first I'm hearing of this quarantine. Is that what you guys are calling it? I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. I've had just a fantastic, wonderful year. It's just been the highlight. There's never been a better year for anybody, in my opinion, and for all of us. So I'm excited to find out about these toys that you guys are talking about and figure out why grown men are buying them. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and so thanks guys for all that. And Jesse, yeah, man, I had no idea, you know, you were going through that. But yeah, it's good to know that you're recovering, man, and hopefully, you know, you'll be back on your feet pretty soon. And you know, it's been awesome just seeing all the stuff you've been accumulating as well. So Jack, dude, why don't you get us started? I mean, like, tell us about some of this stuff that you've been picking up, man.
Well, I mean, for starters, I mean, I too want to say, Jesse, we love you, man. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and you could join us today. Also, Travis's, you know, reluctance to understanding what quarantine is. Some of you may not know, it's because Travis literally lives in a bunker and has lived there since about 1978.
This is 1878, actually. And this is my normal lifestyle. So yeah, this year being any different, I'm just unfamiliar with the concept.
So I don't know, man. There's been a lot coming out this year. A lot of, I don't know if you've had this, but we get this this notification all the time that says like deliveries may be delayed due to COVID-19 and so forth and so forth. And so sometimes we're not even getting notifications that things are going to be shipping to our homes. And I've been surprised with some things. So like I've gotten some of the Super 7 Ninja Turtles come in. We got the Baxter Stockman, which is pretty awesome. Super similar to the old school figure, but taller and a little more handsome. And then this dude came in, he came in Christmas Eve, but was delivered to my neighbor's house. So I thought I would never get him. And then on Christmas Day, this neighbor who I don't even know his name, brought this over, and my dogs tried to attack him, but I got my mutagen man.
Whoa, that's a miracle, Christmas miracle. Yeah,
it is, man. Santa literally delivered this to me. And my neighbor didn't like that I called him Santa. But whatever, it's fine.
That's probably the only figure I'm going to get from that line. But anyway, that's a great figure.
That bebop is thick though, man.
That's what I did with the Super 7s. I chose one from each wave. So I tried not to blow it out of proportion. Oh, well, I might be lying. I think Mondo Gecko and Muckman come out in the same wave. I think I chose those two. But
What
other
are
than
they?
that,
Are they made out of soft vinyl or are they injection molded?
I don't
No,
know.
they're regular like
Injected.
Like,
They're just big.
yeah.
So that
Yeah.
size is cool.
Yeah. So, and then I had a friend call me up the other day, and it's my only friend out here in the desert. And he was at Target and he found the Baxter Splinter 2-pack from NECA.
Nice.
And I was like, I know by the time I get there, it's gone. So he went to the aisle that, most people don't shop in, the books. And he hid it behind the Clueless book, which was really I like the irony there because it's a 90s classic and Clueless, So it was back there. And so I ended up getting the Baxter Splinter 2-pack. And just for size comparison, I mean, Baxter's pretty small, but I think I kind of like the NECA one a little better, man. I've never had one this size, and I'm Irish, so I'm used to small things. But but I really like having both of these guys together. That's been a perk of 2020. Other than that, most of my joy came from Christmas morning. Not only do things have to come from the modern age, but my wife got me something I've wanted for years. And there's more. I could just only hold two. But she got me the chicken nuggets in costume.
Yes.
And she got me all of them, man. All the Halloween ones.
That's so good. That's
Hell
really good.
So I'm really stoked about that. My wife and I spoil each other on Christmas. There's one present to a family member here and there, but then there's this massive haul for each of us full of toys that we both want to open. So, and then I have a question. Isaac, this is probably for you. My wife got this for me. I don't know where it comes from, but he's awesome. What is this?
Is it what is it? What's it made out of?
That's a soft vinyl, but it's a blind box.
I never. Oh, you know what? It might be part of this thing called the Tag, like the Toy Art Gallery, or there was a series. Maybe it came in different colors. Depending on how big it is, it looks kind of small.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It's
I
cute though. Very cute.
And she managed to get me Mr. Sparkle, which is really cool. My wife came up with this brilliant idea that I have too many really big toys, so she got me a bunch of small ones. And it makes sense. It makes sense. And then
well, they do also make a very large version of that, Jack. So now you can pick that one up too.
Oh yes, it will be mine. The absolute best find of 2020 is something that came from you. Yeah, you didn't expect this one.
No.
But you directed me to the Puglu from Planet Pizza.
Yeah.
And I got mine and I painted her. And so, it's always best when I can be creative with something. So yours lights up. Yours has a little man inside. Its eyes light up. It's got a control panel. It's brilliant.
Thanks.
And my first instinct was to cut her open and put a Krang in the belly. But I was afraid. So I just painted her. I
Yeah.
I gave her a little sheen. I gave her some yellow spikes. And I love her. This is probably my favorite 2020. I don't know if I really caught the detail of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty awesome, dude. I actually have my pugs, so this is my pug action figure. I love it.
Cool. Well, Jack, thanks for sharing that stuff with us. So I guess moving on, Isaac, dude, tell us what did you like about 2020 as far as toy releases and I guess stuff that you accumulated and things that well, you weren't able to get.
One thing I was really glad about was that Bob's Big Boy pop, the big one, and I was really glad to get this big Bob's Big Boy for cheap, you know. So that was fun. I don't think you could see it here, but it's up here on my Bob's Big Boy shelf up there on the top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so you can kind of see it there. Oh man, that thing was cool. What else? Things I'm really glad about. Well, random old stuff. I did get this. It's hard to see in the light here, but this thing is a donut, Mr. Donut from Japan. His head is a ring of donuts. And this is the I collect advertising toys. And so this is a cool one. That's I never had one of him. He's kind of hard to get. It's kind of like online of like the McDonald's nuggets that you got. You know, this it's a bank that you get at the donut shop. So somebody gave that to me as a gift. I was really happy to get that.
And that's something you can only get in Japan.
Yeah, Japan only. I don't even think they have Mr. Donut here. This chain. It's a Japanese chain of donut places. He's the mascot. Lion. He's like a lion. But I love that it's a donut ring. It's those rings of donuts. If you guys ever had those.
Remember that when we go to Japan, guys, we got to hit a Mr. Donut.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
This was cool. I got this at that flea market. Those I forget the kids' names. Kaiju Basement. Shout out Kaiju Basement. They gave me this is a character I collect from Ultraman, and they did a custom paint job on this cheap Bandai. And I always like collecting some of these 90s Bandais, you know, or cheap Bandais. They're fun. You know, let the dog chew on them, or you know, stack them up. Or they always put out weird Ultraman characters. So this is a cool, a very nice iridescent paint job. This character is like, if you ever seen him on the show of Ultraman, it's basically just like a weather balloon floating with some blanket on it. You know, it's like one of the oddest characters, kind of on that Fortnite.
That's Roswell. That's all that happened in Roswell, right?
Basically, yeah.
Area 51.
This, I was really hyped to get this. Daniel actually got this for me. And man, this is one of my favorite sets of the year right here. 3 amazing characters done in this awesome 8-inch or 6-inch format. That's just, whether you like the movie or anything, or just, and the whole packaging was just fantastic. Like barely says Neko, but NECA just at the very bottom. But just, you know, one of the best things I've ever seen this year. The heads on the side. Yeah, I was very thankful, Roger, to get that from you. This was cool. I just got this. I collect the Disney. I do a lot of Disney stuff. Not certain characters. This one, I collect this statue, and I got it in a couple different formats, sizes. I got little one, big one, and this was a cool one that was designed from that Wonderland gallery out of Disneyland by Dan Perillo. So this was at Disneyland. There's actually, you could get it at first only at Disneyland, but since they've closed Disneyland, you can get it on shopdisney.com, not an ad. But you can get it. I think you can get it online at other places, but I actually went to Disneyland, just had to do some business down there, but so I picked it up. I was pretty psyched. I like that typography on the front too. Some very strange, and it's actually, the cool thing is, if you're a Disney fan, the box is like the old popcorn box.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I love that color. So I was like, ooh, sometimes when you're a designer and you're trying to pick colors, you know, it's hard to, what palette are you going to pull from? And I love that they were pulling from that classic, because Walt loved that popcorn, that's for sure. One cool one was I did get this toy from Buona Spoons, a little vinyl, unpainted vinyl of a original character of his, but I like it. It's like a little bit of a robot, a little bit of a pirate, maybe. He's got a beret, a skull head.
Badass.
Just a strange little vinyl. It's got like a little thing covering his mid-region. Some articulation at the hips, head. You know, for being such a small one, I was psyched that it did have the arms moved. One thing I wanted to show you guys, this year I was invited to join my old friend Mark, a Lego builders group where we build the poly bag. We'll get the poly bag and then we rebuild it however we want. Yeah. And it's fun. We meet up on Fridays. There's like 5, families, about 6 families. And, me and my son just do it. And it's just a fun little weekly COVID thing to do. And Mock Bros, or check us out at MOC Bros on Instagram. and it's fun. Every week we just, we're posting them, getting the votes, and then there's a little bit of a rivalries. There's a little bit of like at the every week who wins, and it's usually it always ends up being this one guy's daughter. She just always has the best design that has the best photo.
I follow that. I've seen that, and it's just amazing because you guys basically just get those little poly bag Lego kits that are typically at the register.
Yeah.
And you kind of just make your own design, or actually that's something, because my son is very much into Legos, and I don't know, that's something I don't know that, well, he actually follows it too, and he's always saying, hey, did you see the new ones? Did you see the new ones?
Yeah. I get into it. I like the Lego stuff. I mean, that's this year, as I get less and less room, I go smaller and smaller and smaller. And so of course minifigures and my Lego case is now overrun, of like little guys that I've collected, and I get the cars. I like when it's at least a little bit of a little something to find a theme. But like you were saying though, there's a lot of Lego characters that I have no context for, but I'm just like, this little dude's bad. I gotta have this little guy. Or I put a story on it immediately.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of toys that I didn't get this year, of course. There was definitely, let me show you one more that's my favorite. This is a sick one I got. Can you see the egg guy?
Yeah.
So I actually got this. He made like 500 of them, but this is a skateboard company, Heroin Skateboards, and he made this character, the egg, just based on the shape of the skateboard. And then he made this couple more, and it kind of morphed over the last 5-6 years. And then he made a stuffed animal of it. And I just like that progression. I loved it. Like the skate fans, and it sold out. And the skate fans were like, and just imagine a skater coming home with an egg. Hey, mom, can I have this egg?
Yeah.
Or like even thinking about a skater buying a plushie, but it sells out. Look at those freaked out eyes. It's just
I think it's awesome.
it's awesome, right? All right, let me go to the next one. This was a toy. I mean, I collect this brand Bounty Hunter a lot, and they came out with this crazy toy with an artist named Sketch. This is a hefty soft vinyl. I mean, $230. I mean, I couldn't get it. Very limited and very expensive. It came out in these two different glow colors, regular glow and blue glow.
Is there a lottery for that, Isaac?
No, you got to just go. It's like you just got to go show up at their shops to get it.
Dang.
This one was 200, the regular glow, but like it has this guy's Sketch. He's a great artist, man. He is so cool. And this is his first original soft vinyl that he's made.
How big is that?
It's like 10 inch. I think it's like 8 to 10 inch. It's hefty. It's a real size toy for sure.
You see his right arm, Jesse?
I do.
Yeah.
Man, it's so bad. Everything about this thing is got. Look at his feet. I mean, the sculpt is just fantastic. And they haven't even done a color yet. They haven't done a painted version yet, which they will, I bet.
Oh, he looks sick like that.
Oh, you don't need to do too much. But so Sketch is well renowned. I mean, in that world of like hot rod graphics, so he knows what he's doing. These are some ones that I thought were newcomers that I never seen before that I'm pretty amazed by. This guy out of China. Oh. These are like 14, 20 inch tall things, all different casts, all different soft vinyl and squishy. Like that face is squishy. Oh. I mean, this guy, Toy Sabian, I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing some cool stuff. He did this one. This is a new ray gun that he did. All those are individually cast soft vinyl pieces. The front comes off. I mean, just amazing, creations that, and really limited because the paint jobs and everything is limited, but huge expenses that goes into this in China. I don't know how they get it done. But just goofy, retro. But this one, you guys, I mean, talk about Krang, talk about like all the different references and influences on these. Is Diamond Eyes. I mean, the spaceship that lifts off with Doraemon bootleg drawing. I mean, so many crazy things.
Jeez.
Okay, this one, now I get into this one. I'll end on my weirdest one. But this one was a new one that I saw. This is just kind of from a Tattoo World soft vinyl figure. It was a lottery sale. I don't even know who makes this toy. This is a new brand that's come out called Owl Toy, but this staircase into the chest, it very much looks like a tattoo, but also kind of cute. a little ugly. There's a lot of stuff, cool paint job. I don't know, the teeth, a lot of things about this figure I thought was interesting. I haven't been able to get one yet, but I will get one. He's put out a few this year. That chest piece though is really, I don't know, something about it. I stare at it.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, but I mean, it's great.
Okay, now here's my last one. Sorry guys, don't get too offended. This
Yeah.
is another Hong Kong artist that is just blowing me away, and I gotta get this figure. It is Little Dicky.
Oh shit!
He is amazing. It's like this. I mean, I don't even need to say too much about what it is, but for your video listeners who aren't watching, I mean, it's basically like a nice head with a hilarious stash and some compromising clothing. And then he already did an alternate with the toilet paper. I love that he's done a few alternate. He did one that looked like Muscles, like Kinikuya Man. But this is one of the weirdest. Luke Smells Good is the creator out of China. And they're like, these go out for like 75, 80 bucks. I haven't been able to try. And they're very limited, like maybe 10, 20 of each color at the most.
What are those like? They're like 4 or 5 inches big.
Yeah, that's a very shorty one. And he did a windup of just the head. And that one was only 15 of those or something like that. And I really wanted to get that windup of the head, but I couldn't source it.
You know, what fascinates me about that stuff is why, just why. But
for that, what the fuck factor, for that, like,
yeah.
Dude, what the fuck factor, I think is the main one.
Yeah.
Look at the eyes, never been done. You know, I think that's, there's a big thing in my world called like NBD, you know, never been done.
Oh.
And I know you guys saying you like some, and some of the stuff I liked is retro or, you know, new stuff version, but I always love never been done, like something I never seen before. Definitely perks my interest.
Jeez. All right. So
Isaac, a lot of the Sofubi stuff that you show there, like, and this goes to the heart of what is Sofubi, right? Like, I think there is so much of that WTF factor in a lot of the traditional Asian designs, the Japanese and Chinese stuff that comes out. But then there's soft vinyl that's put out that's more, you know, traditional from an American perspective. Like, do you think, is that not Sofubi when it starts to go down that road? And I'll point out a couple I grabbed.
I consider anything Sofubi if it's the material. Its material is soft vinyl.
Okay, so for you, it's just the material.
Well, because what happens with the materials is that it limits the design in an interesting way, and that's what I always like about it. Is you can't do the detail, you can't do the, you know, it's hard to do it. So, what's the character? I didn't see this one.
So I got one this year. This is from an artist named Bob Daub.
Oh yeah.
And this was his Jughead figure. He put out a series of 4 of these, each one with the same body and then a different head. So this one was Jughead. Oh, and each head was also a different vice. So he had Pothead that was just like a metal pot. He had Pill Head, and the guy's head was a pill. And I forget what the 4th one was.
Same body, different heads.
Yeah, same body, different paint jobs.
That's what I like about soft vinyl, is that all of a sudden he had to pay for that mold of the body, but he could fit 4 heads in the same mold. And so then you start having those weird balances of design by materials and by cost. And I love, like, injection molding, similar, but because of the scale of injection molding, you put a lot more pieces, a lot more detail. But soft vinyl, you just don't get that detail. Or even just the simplest way, if you look at stuff like a soft vinyl, is like, can it hold water? If it can't hold water like this, or, you know, it's not going to work. And so just little stuff like that creates a lot with the design.
Yeah. This was another one I picked up this year. This was a re-release.
So hard. Skull marks, those are so good.
Yeah, the skull mark stuff.
I was eyeing that in the background. I was eyeing that in your background. I was like, "What? Let me see that."
Yep. That was one I was thrilled with.
Huh? Are they, or just a little? On
they did a re-release of it this year, so that's why it counted in my book.
Man,
and then
Galaxy Man,
the guy, big one.
He is so cool. The Galaxy. What is his name?
This one from Robot Monster. This was This was done by Hop Toys as a Kickstarter this year. But this thing is just even before I received it, like this guy's already pretty big. Like,
Yeah.
that's the big figure. And then this guy just towers over him.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Big soft vinyl
this
is so
thing-
nice. I like big soft vinyl.
it's amazing to have. Yeah.
I have the plush figure of him from Hops.
I do too. I picked that up too. Yeah.
I like that too. I like when you reduce a character further in the plush. I have one of the bounty hunter toys I collect. I collected a ton of the plush versions just because I was like, oh, this is such an odd further reduction or reinvention. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Now does this qualify? Because this guy was everywhere this year for obvious reasons. But the dumpster fire
Oh yeah,
vinyl toy by 100 Soft.
I mean, is it soft vinyl? Is it not? I mean, is it the material? I never touched it, so I don't know the material. But it looks like
I don't
love
know that
Chuck.
it technically qualifies as soft vinyl. It is a little bit hard.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I think, a gateway, the same way kind of like Funko
hell yeah.
often is for a lot
So
of people.
his coloring too, man. I love all the colors he put that thing out in. I really like how he went hard
Yeah.
with all the colors.
Well, and there's been so many releases on it. Like this one was the mask release.
I want the clown one.
But
the white clown one is the one.
yeah,
I want.
exactly.
Did you see that joint?
There's been like a dozen releases of it this year, and they're all just selling out.
So I mean, a lot of that too is by circumstance that he probably had to buy 5,000 or 10,000 of those. So you can't sell 10,000 one color, so that you start repainting. So
Right.
repainting to me is a lot with Sofubi, because with you're saying the traditional stuff like M1 or any of the Godzilla toys, you'd have that in 5 different colors for the different regions, like a Hawaii color, you'd have a Hong Kong color, US color by whoever, they're going to change the color on them, it's very interesting.
One thing that I noticed is, like, for example, the pieces that I picked up from you at the Toy Fest have a very distinct smell.
So V color too, the paint, a lot of that probably has to do with the paint. V color is a certain brand that's from a lot of those Tokyo toys.
Yeah.
It has a very certain smell, and the way that it attaches to that vinyl, that's for sure.
But it's a great smell, and it's one that's reminiscent from when I visited you. I visited Carl, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is like,
It's not healthy. It's not healthy. My kids, it's not healthy for the kids, all this off-gassing.
Yeah.
Vinyl, I mean,
But still, it's just, it has like, right away when it's funny because it's potent because, during hot, warm days or whatever, you could smell it, it'll smell up the whole room, and it's not a bad smell, by the way. I mean, yeah, it may not be, but still, it's like, there's something about it. It's just like a great smell. So
yeah, I love that old toy store smell in Tokyo. When you guys get over there, if you haven't been, I mean, you go to an old store, it's definitely got that. It's different than a dusty library. And so that's definitely a big deal.
Yeah, I just can't wait for that. Actually, yeah, like I've talked to Travis about. We actually were talking about that someday, and then Jesse and I have had extensive conversations about going to Japan. He was supposed to go to Japan this year,
April.
Yeah, exactly. And I was hoping to go to Japan this year, and it just, everything.
I think tickets are going to get cheap. I feel like they're going to be cheap when the door opens. I feel like it's going to. I don't know.
I hope so. All I know is that I'm saving. I'm selling a lot of stuff, and I'm saving because I want to come back with a couple of suitcases full of stuff. But
oh man, it's easy to do. That's for sure.
My wife and I did the honeymoon there, but we brought an empty suitcase each.
Nice.
And we just went and we whatever we didn't spend by our last 2 days got spent on toys.
Yeah, I remember going one trip. I remember going to Akihabara to look for a new suitcase. I was like, okay, I need to get a bigger suitcase. Let me see what you got. What do you got around here?
Yeah.
But then I learned about EMS. Then I just started shipping other trips. I've just shipped stuff back, and then it's pretty easy. That makes it, at least just box it up and you're done.
Yeah, it's probably what we'll have to do. Yeah.
I love the best coming back from Tokyo. The guy at Custom sees. I just see this big Astro Boy go through, and you can see it in the X-ray, a big soft vinyl. It doesn't get blocked out by the X-ray. Talk about, I don't know what material it is, but then the guy in Custom is like, oh, hey, do you know the name of this character? And then I come outside and all my friends are shook because they're like, what? Did you get held up? What happened? Are you in trouble? Did you owe money? And I was like, no, the guy wanted me to tell him the name of a character.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, hey, Isaac, thank you for sharing that
Yeah,
stuff,
man.
man. Lots of cool stuff, man. I mean,
Yeah, 21. There's gonna be some new stuff, I'm sure.
yeah. So we're gonna be on the lookout for some of those pieces, man.
Yeah.
They were awesome, especially that Frankenstein's monster with the
gotta give
Oh man,
yeah, that thing's
that thing is bad.
yeah,
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, and so
They
no,
still
it's,
available?
oh, what's that?
Are they still available or are they completely gone?
I mean, you probably get on the resale. I've been looking on Mandarake, like some of the resale websites, or Yahoo Japan, but I haven't even seen many come up.
Damn.
Yeah,
They'll come up. They'll be around. I mean, those things come back. Usually, when they come around, is people that they promote to. So that they're a rock and roll label, you know, bounty hunters. So a lot of times they'll promo those toys out. Then they'll come up because somebody's like, I don't know what this is. Here, I've definitely come up on some bounty hunters that way.
yeah, man, that's cool. So Jesse, what's up, man? What do you have, dude?
Well, I made a list here. I'm gonna try to keep it like a mix of different stuff here. First one, let me get it from back here. This one actually came in yesterday, and we were joking around, my brother and I, about because it was raining like crazy, and we're like, man, you know, imagine someone getting their package left outside in that rain and having your shit fucked up. Well, it happened to me yesterday. My package was stuck outside in the rain, and but luckily it wasn't damaged. But so here's a character here, Emily, from the movie The Beyond, from Lucio Fulci.
So good.
Yeah, this is from Distinctive Dummies, and yeah, I mean, I love Distinctive Dummies, and she came with her dog Dickie. And yeah, I love these like Mego style toys, you know, whether it's from Mego themselves, NECA. So Distinctive Dummies is one of those guys that I enjoy getting.
So that's Distinctive Dummies, right?
Dummies, correct. Here's the box. It's empty now, but Paul Bear Press released them. And it's what's cool about this is it's officially licensed from Grindhouse Release.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's officially licensed, so it's no longer a bootleg. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's one of my favorite movies out there, and
Yeah, what I love that movie, by the way.
there you go.
It's like the original Grindhouse releasing DVD set, but in a tin. Anyway.
Hey, it's still cool.
Man, that is cool. What a toy! I wonder how many they make of this kind of thing. Like,
Oh, right here. So
Yeah,
so they usually make about a run of 100 of them, and they're always numbered. They're like punk rock, man. They have the numbers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Handwritten and everything. So I believe the guy, like this guy, I think he's an English guy out of Thailand that releases these. So he releases like 50 of them, and then Paul Bear Press releases the rest of them here in the States. And you know, he sells them on his Instagram or his website and stuff. So another one here was from was Dead Zebra Inc. Got the Kill Cat, the Misfits, one of my favorite bands of all time. And I don't know,
cool.
they're like Kit Kats, really, two-headed Kit Kats.
I love those kill cats.
They're fucking awesome, dude.
What material are those, Jesse? Like,
This is vinyl.
okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's Safubi, but it's doesn't have that smell, but it's vinyl for sure.
those are rad.
Smells like chocolate.
Also got the giant one here.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. So Misfits are some of my favorite bands of all time here, and I think this year I've always like knew Safubi, just never really collected it. But this is the year that I started collecting more of the Safubi, and these are one of the first like maybe like the bigger lines that came out that I bought. But yeah, that's the Kill Cat. What else do I got here? Oh, up here. Gotta shout out some of my raza out there. The Fools Gone Wild toys. I had to represent these guys. These are fucking sick. This dude, I've been following him since he had like 200 followers, and he blew up. And so I had to, once he made these little guys, I had to get them. And
The
Yeah, so I
big
got,
homies. That's so nice.
yeah, they're I think these are resin, but yeah, these are pretty cool. The white one came out first, and then the black one, and he made a plush doll. I think I missed out on that, but yeah, these are pretty cool. I don't know.
And
Something happened.
and Jesse, those things sold out pretty quick, huh?
Oh yeah. So this first one sold out in I think like 20 something minutes, and then the black version sold out in 30 seconds, which is insane for for any toy company to sell out that fast. I mean, that's like in the realm of like sneakers and stuff like that, So I thought that was pretty crazy. One of my favorite slasher films of all time, Slumber Party Massacre. You got Russ Thorn. This one started the year off. This one came out in January, and I mean, look at how sick he is. Comes with his drill, with his Canadian tuxedo.
And did that one come with the movie, or is it just the figure?
Yeah, this one came like it was it's NECA and Shout Factory like together.
Yeah.
And what they did is they did a pre-order for like a 4K scan Blu-ray. And it came with a poster, and it came with the figure. This is all that I cared about, really. The movie and poster was just kind of like cherry on top. But yeah, this guy's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys seen this movie or not. The Slumber Party Massacre was filmed around my area here, Mar Vista. The original house is like in Venice, so it's pretty cool. This guy here, Headlock Studios, the Kid Creature.
That thing's bad. I think it's so good.
Did you get one?
No, I didn't. I've gotten, I get some other stickers and random stuff, but no, I wasn't able to get this one.
Yeah, this one was my first and only one that I was able to get. I missed out on a bunch of stuff, but I was happy I got this one. I'm a big Creature from the Black Lagoon fan, so.
So Jesse, so there was a lottery. Was there a lottery for that one?
Yeah, there's a lottery for most of those companies. A lottery, and I just was lucky enough to put one in. Actually, I had a tactic. So I put my lottery in, and I knew they were going to be checking out people's like Instagrams and stuff. So I started posting a lot of pictures of like Safubi and Creature from the Black Lagoon, that kind of shit, and it worked out. So I don't know if I was just lucky or what, but that was just my tactic, and it worked. It didn't work this last time with their latest dude, but it's okay. I got this guy, so I'm happy with this one.
Isaac,
does that kind of stuff normally work? Because yeah, I've been trying to win some lotteries here and there.
I feel like it depends on how the company is. I mean, I feel like there's some of them they really is people who they want, they have way more people want to buy it than can buy it. But I think some of them it is more like, let's get it to the right guys,
Yeah.
Or they take care of you on the next round. That's how I've got hooked up on stuff, is like I posted, made a nice comment. Then the next time the guy goes, hey, this is going online tomorrow at this time. Or, they're starting to, communicate back and forth. That's for sure.
That's cool.
There was a funny one recently like that was, we have a minute here. It was called, Carl sent it to me, it was called Santa Daddy. And it was like this harlot guy, like that leather daddy one. And I was like, oh yeah, Carl, look at this one as a joke. Like, hey, Carl, check this one out. And then all of a sudden, the guy started writing me, hey, it's available. Still got a couple left. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Something similar happened to me with some other one. Anyway, let's keep going with that. It was something I didn't want, but it was all of a sudden I found myself like, hey, the company reached out to me because it was soft vinyl. I just kind of started following it, but their stuff just started getting a little too crazy. And then all of a sudden they started like messaging me, hey, are you really interested in this? And I'm like,
yeah, it's more like that. I think it's more like a younger person how they use DM, using DMs and dating. It's more like dating life, or I don't do that kind of thing. So I don't know, but leaving a comment, deleting the comment.
Yeah. And no, it was funny because it's like they message you in broken English. It's like, you like, you're like, no. Anyway, but yeah. Jesse, so what's up, man? What else do you have?
So, and to me, this was one of the most anticipated horror figures of this year from NECA. And this is the Dr. Loomis, the 2-pack with Laurie Strode. The Laurie Strode to me looked like shit, but Donald Pleasance looks great. Comes with his cuete, and he's great, man. Like he just looks cool. I don't know. This was long awaited. I mean, they made a figure like back in like 2003 or 4 or something like that, and a box set. And I have that one too, and that I think that's like $300. But yeah, so when they released this one, it was like a must go for sure. You guys could check that out. Yeah, I made a video on this guy, took some pictures of this guy. It's just an awesome piece in my opinion. Donald Pleasant's Halloween 2. And then these ones here is more of like a designer style toy, I guess. I wish these were rubber or keshi, but they're made out of resin, but they're made to look like the muscle. But they're little horror guys. So here's my favorite Jason. Jason Goes to Hell, and he made a bunch of characters, mostly Jason that he made though. Here's like Jason X.
I like
Who
how
made
that
these?
is chunky. I like how he's a little chunky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good sculpts, really good sculpts.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
deep.
who made those, Jesse?
Luke Welch.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Welch sculpting or sculpts. Luke Welch sculpt. See, he has like the Freddy claw here as the hand. Pretty awesome. I mean, he has a whole bunch of them. Mostly Jason's, but you know, here's a Super Freddy.
Cool.
And the flesh tones and stuff. So here's the Michael Myers. So like little things like this, I like these little designer toys. I like Arm, Alien Robot Monster. That dude makes super cool like Keshi style toys. He's actually here in Culver City, actually. Really nice guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's here. He's here in Culver City.
That's cool.
But here's a Leatherface there. So
That's
I don't know. So I like these guys, you know, especially this is like my favorite, like the muscle, like the flesh tone is my like favorite color. So I don't know. I thought this was pretty cool, and that's it. I mean, I got a whole bunch more, but I don't want to keep up. But it's just that's some of my 2020. I do want to shout out though. Shout Factory came out with that box set of Friday the 13th, which was the shit. All like 4K, 2K scans. Yeah, that's it.
Anything that you missed out on, Jesse, that you really wanted to get, or
the fucking the Migo creature from the Black Lagoon. I know it's out in stores now, but he was hard to find. But now he's like starting to trickle into all the WalMarts now. I'm not going to Walmart's, so I'll wait till Frankincense or Tour Depot. Maybe next weekend I'll go pick one up. But yeah, the Migo creature from the Black Lagoon is like one of my main ones that I really wanted this year.
cool?
Yeah, that's like the only one from that line I want because he does look good.
Yeah, he looks great.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for sharing that stuff. Travis, man, I know you've got I'm sure you got a nice list of stuff you know your favorite stuff from 2020, man.
As wide and as varied as my interests are, like, you know, I like a lot of the modern stuff, the mass release stuff. I like the retro throwback stuff. I like vintage. I had to go through and kind of look at my Instagram and say, what did I actually buy this year? Because so much of what I buy is like old stuff. It's thrift shop stuff. It's flea market stuff that you know, it doesn't fit the best of 2020, and it kind of jumbles in my mind, like what new stuff did I actually buy this year? And for me, Instagram is partly kind of cataloging or documenting, like, you know, what I picked up, so it helps me remember. I'll start with just building off of Jesse there. I'm not a big horror guy. The modern horror stuff from like and I say modern meaning 80s. That's, you know, just
That's the best
that's
era.
where we're at. Yeah, right. Like that stuff never really spoke to me. I grew up. My dad was like a vintage, like a Universal, you know, horror guy, all that kind of stuff. That's what I love. I will say that the one thing that NECA put out this year that I absolutely loved was the King Kong figure. I see you applauding that there. This guy was just great. He's great scale. He's great articulation, which honestly was one of my biggest concerns because I also, last year, I picked up the Mezco one. And they're, you know, I think pretty similar in size, very different styling. We'll put some photos up to see these guys.
I was going to say, good addition to any Kong collection. If you have any mass of Kong, that's a good addition.
Right. Well, you know, I like the Mezco one, but he was so hard. Like they just didn't add the articulation to the elbows the way they should. Like he can't hit 90 degrees on those. Whereas the way that NECA built this vintage Kong's elbows is really impressive. He can really, you know, he can get up into a good like Home Alone scream. he just a lot of fun. This guy is a lot of fun. And then those two together go just perfectly with the one I've had since I was like 8, like the 1985, 86 one. So like that's my trio right there. I love these guys.
While they're out, can I just clear the air real quick? Am I the only one who cries at the end of that movie?
Yes.
No. Well,
Yeah.
no.
He's the bad guy, and you're supposed to root for him being dead. Come on, Jack. Movies. Come on, you got to figure this out. So I picked those up. I'll show one. This is another. Just to get to it real quick. This is another Kickstarter figure that came out. It was from last year. It got released this year. I was thrilled when it did. This is the Rocom toy, Future Me. He's Future Me because he's dead, and we all will be one day. So he's got his tombstone. This guy is just a lot of fun. Another vinyl figure. I will say, because of the joints on his legs, he falls over at inopportune times. Like usually when I think I'm alone in the house or sleeping, and the legs, the joints on him, he'll just kind of fall over and make some noise. And I do think it's fitting for this kind of character. So, but I love the design on this. This was a lot of fun. I love it when that new stuff comes out. Couple other things that we haven't gotten to so far before we get into my specialty area, I guess you'll say. I did pick up, for import figures, we haven't talked about those a lot. I did get the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman, who replaced my Mezco 112 collective Batman, just because I prefer the sculpted details versus the cloth goods suit. But this guy is so cool. That cape is just amazing. He's so much fun to pose. Make him beat up your other figures and stuff. Mine has a little bit of a problem with the cape, but besides that, this is just like almost a perfect toy for me. That's exactly what I want my toys to be.
Now, is that cape, is it made out of?
Yeah. And it's got wires in the front. For those who haven't seen this, it's got wires in the front that allow you to pose it, wherever you want it to go, drape, fly, etc. And then because of pleats in the back, it just kind of maintains that form, which is what really gives it that awesome silhouette.
Hides the cool stand. That's neat.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that's really cool. Yeah.
When you say that replaced your other one, does that mean the other one is like, did you trade that? Did you sell that, or is it just no longer on display?
I took a hammer to it and then I burned it, as you're supposed to with toys you don't like anymore, as my father taught me when I was 6.
I'm legitimately asking.
It's up for sale right now, actually, at Mike's at Toy Depot. I have it up there because I don't, why do I have 2 of these Batman figures? They're the same scale. They look very similar. They're the same era, the same representation. I just like the sculpted plastic better than I like the cloth good costume. So basically, I'm selling that one off, which has, as we know as collectors, has appreciated in value. So that allows me to pay off the buying of that one plus the buying of this one. So basically, I now have a free Batman figure is the way I look at it.
You are my new Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I just keep them. I'm just like, okay, so I'll have 2 now. I'll have 2. And
well, it's what apartment living has taught me over the last 20 years. It's, you see the clutter behind me and there's really not room for a whole lot more. And that's been part of this year too, is figuring out, all right, everything I bring in, do I have space for it? And if I don't, if I love it that much, what do I get rid of to make room for it? So there's always a little bit of that challenge. And I think that's part of collecting too. It's not just the accumulating, it's also the letting go of. That's just part and parcel of it. maybe
There's
not
the-
for Isaac.
Oh no, I want to let
but,
go. Sometimes I don't know who will take this stuff. Some of them I'm like, who will take care of it? Who should I
There's
let it
always
go?
somebody though. There's
Some-
always somebody, I think, is
My
what I'm
wife
finding.
is convinced that we need to buy a bigger house, and I'm okay with that. I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay,
no, that'll be eventually. Yeah, eventually that's the dream. But until that day, when the apartment is what I have, everything and when you're with another collector, there's you gotta figure out how to make things fit, how to make things work. So there's always a little bit of give and take with everything. Let's see, what else did I pick up? I think you've seen most of the big oh, one more thing. This was another mass release, I guess, and I think I showed this off in another video, but the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back probe droid. This is not the Black Series one. This was the Disney Store release that is slightly bigger, and the body is die-cast, so it's actually heavy as well. And it's just such an awesome representation of, really a unique looking
Looks great.
figure in pop culture. So it was between this and the Black Series one, and I went with this one just because the extra scale and heft just really lends itself to a great display piece. I love that thing.
Alicia and I have been watching the Star Wars movies, and she started hitting me the other day, screaming, "Travis's droid, Travis's droid." I don't even know if that's the right one, but okay.
I'm famous.
I would like to get that one because of the weight. Because since it's diecast, I imagine it has a lot more weight to it, and so it's just I don't know. But,
it does make a great weapon if that's what you're alluding to.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Get it and throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But aside from that, so again, like my interests are all over the place. Aside from all of that stuff that we've already talked about, I also love the bootleg makers, the resin toy makers. I aspire to be a resin toy maker. Those of you who follow me know some of the stuff I work on. And this year was kind of interesting watching the releases because I do feel, in theory, a lot of us had more time at home to work on this kind of stuff. But I think there was also a little bit of that cabin fever sitting in, like the people that you normally put out a lot sometimes didn't put out as much this year. I think a lot of us were fighting with a little bit of that ennui of not having the creative juices flowing when we're quarantined so much, and not seeing our usual friends and inspirations, and being able to travel and all that kind of stuff. But there was still tons of good stuff that came out this year. Jesse, you were showing off a couple of the little kind of Keshi style figures.
Yep.
Here's two I picked up this year. They were released by different people but sculpted by the same guy. So these were both sculpted by the Rojo toy.
Oh, those are awesome.
They're both video games. And again, we'll put some better pictures of these up in the video. But we got a little Game Boy inspired one there, and then a little arcade cabinet inspired there. I think this one was put out by Eddie in the City, and this one was Dr. Doomtone, I think, but both sculpted by the Rojo toy on Instagram. And just they were, I love the character in the sculpt on these. They're just super cool. I love that stuff. Both kind of a PVC material, injection cast material there. Let's see. I'll show off this guy. This guy was, everybody knows I love my dead astronauts, and one of the top makers of those in different toy formats for a couple years now has been a guy called Kos Robot, K-O-S Robot. And he's been making his Cosmos Cold figures, which has been one style, but this year he released, this is his character, Tim. He decided to switch up the naming a little bit. So this is Tim, who's got more articulation rather than magnets. He's actually got a jointed system in there, removable weapons. You can see on the back there, the helmet comes off. So this was a really cool upgrade for him, and he's working on some more stuff to come out next year really kind of upping the style aspect of these. So I'm excited for those. Let's see. I'll point out this guy was by Shy Poke Studios. This was a very limited release. I think there were only maybe like 5 or 6 of these made, like one in each colorway. This is Brainbot. This is actually like a 3D printed, I believe, body with a resin dome, see-through, and a little brain in there. And do I have the light? What was really cool was he actually left the bottom hollow, so that way you can put a little light up in there. Oh, will I get this thing to light up? There we go. So then the we're gonna lose it. I'll put some photos, but it'll allows the transparent resin to actually glow, which is really cool. And just really, that's somebody who was new to it pretty much this year. Maybe did a little bit last year, only put out so many releases, but just there's a simplicity to the design that I just think is really cool. And I love seeing those new interpretations on that stuff.
I like that mixed material. I like the 3D printing and then the resin.
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly. He was doing some really cool stuff with that. I'm going to get into my list here because there's so much. 2 more that I have here. I think one of the hallmarks, the staples of the bootleg resin toy community is your own take on Star Wars figures, right? Because they're so ubiquitous to our experience of toys as kids. And it's almost gotten to the point where it's hard to make a new mark in that. Everybody's done something Star Wars, and it's so hard to make a Star Wars themed toy out of the old toys that's doing something new or saying something new. And there's been a slight shift, I think, away from those as the staple towards other, retro figures that we remember. This was one I picked up this year from a guy called Toy Buzz Biz, where instead of Star Wars, he's been focusing on Fisher-Price Adventure People, which some of us may remember well. My favorite as a kid was Clawtron. So this guy made this was an adventure people figure called Jeff. he was like the newsman. He was the reporter. But what he did was he gave him Clawtron arms and painted him in the Clawtron colorway. So I have several Clawtrons, so I just made him the Clawtron supervisor at work to make sure that they hit their metrics, their quarterly metrics. And he knows they'll come through.
I've come across people collect that line and like kind of crossovers with like Micromen collectors, like some definitely interesting crossover. But I've only come across that line just once or twice. That's interesting.
Well, it's one I had as a kid. Again, I had only the Clawtron figure, and I had no idea what he was from. There was no way to figure that out, and that it wasn't something my friends had. So he was just always like a backup bounty hunter in my world. Like he looked really cool. And so for that reason, he's just been a favorite of mine to this day. And it wasn't until, I don't know, 10 years ago that I finally figured out what he was from. I just had no clue. So to see people doing a take on that, and there's others. This one wasn't from this year, but I think the year before. Strafe 7 does a lot with adventure people, and this was the actual Clawtron mold, but he did it in the X-ray man colorway. So let's see if we can get that in there. So he actually used the X-ray man, like the greenish translucent, as well as the tampo, the sticker there on the chest, and put that on the Clawtron mold. So I love it that there's this kind of mashup going on with something that's beyond Star Wars these days, and kind of expanding that. So I thought they were both really well done. Another one, this is a guy who some of you guys may have seen his stuff. This particular one I actually picked up at Designer Con last year, but he did a re-release of it this year in different colors, as well as an additional what's called double cast, where you have a solid resin cast inside a transparent resin cast. And so again, going with my Dead Spacemen theme, this is his Cosmonaut. This is Dingy Dave. This is his cosmonaut. And he re-released that this year in different colorways. And then he also did one that was entirely translucent with an exposed skeleton all the way down, and just looked really cool. I'm really big on those double cast figures. Our friend Barbarian Rage has done some of those in the past. There's a couple guys doing some amazing ones right now with Masters of the Universe figures. This guy out of England, named Rainbow Yawn, doing amazing like double cast scare glows, just that look amazing. There's a guy named Scott Wilkowski who he did a figure this year that was the Count from Sesame Street, but with an internal skeleton and just this horrific, Jesse, you'd like this guy, just this horrific like vampire bone face underneath with like a mask of his own face he could like take off and put on. Really cool.
Awesome.
And then there's another guy, Malmy Studios, Malmey Studios, who's been doing these double cast Battle Cats. So he's got two versions. One is he's actually sculpted a Battle Cat skeleton inside of the traditional Battle Cat figure. And then there's another one where he'll actually chop up other He-Man parts, different Motu figures, and put them inside a translucent Battle Cat as well. So there's been some amazing stuff that's been coming out of the resin bootleg, especially in the Masters stuff this year. There's so many. I'll list a few and we'll put some pictures up. I'm sorry you guys don't get to see them here as we're talking about them. But Flanagan Creations did this just ridiculous Galactus Buddha figure that he took a traditional Buddha figure, molded that, and then took I think it was the Marvel Universe Galactus figure, took the head of that and put it on Buddha and gave it like a space colorway. It just was beautiful. These are all ones I wasn't able to grab this year, but I really wish I could have. HH Toys, they've been doing a lot of Lovecraft inspired figures. Again, more of that kind of Keshi style. It was originally called Mythos in My Pocket. So it was like Lovecraft figures meet Monster in My Pocket. But then I think they got a little cease and desist with the Monster in My Pocket people. So now it's just called Mythos. They also did another dead astronaut. This is their dead cosmonaut figure there. This is resin. But they've been doing some really cool Lovecraftian little Keshi style. I have not managed to grab them. They sell out in seconds. It's crazy. Another guy who I've been watching this year is a guy, he's actually here local. His name's Junkyard Kid. And he's been kind of doing his own take on, again, these retro things. Do you guys remember, have you seen the old Monster vending machine?
Oh, yeah.
Isaac, I'm sure you have. It's
Very cool
big
thing.
and green.
Yeah.
With an Monster on the bottom. He took that, he sculpted his own version of it and made a bank, like a hollow bank about this big. And then he also made it's my favorite thing. I would be terrified of having it stolen or wrecked in an accident, but he made a license plate frame that goes on your car around your license plate with the Monster appearance.
Who is
He's
this?
just doing
Who did this one?
His name is Junkyard Kid. He's on Instagram, I think, as Junkyard Kid 1, I believe. He's everything he does, I'm just blown away by the skill he's putting into it. Frankenlander is somebody else who's doing amazing double cast stuff, Masters of the Universe stuff. And then there's a few other Kickstarters this year that either are wrapping up or they've already wrapped up and they're actually shipping right now. We mentioned, for example, the Boglands, that Kickstarter just ended. Two that are just about done. I actually have the shipping notification that it's on the way, but I haven't seen them yet. Plunderlings, which I know that Jack and Daniel and I have talked about.
Yeah.
Those look like a lot of fun, little kind of goblin type characters, fully articulated, about 4 inches tall. Really excited to see those. Another guy I follow named Motley Miscreations. Isaac, I don't know if you've seen this guy, but he did a 12-inch Kraken vinyl figure. So this big, tentacle monster thing that also comes with a little 2-inch resin deep sea diver as a set. So he's finishing up the last touches on those, and those should be shipping in the
Great
next few
paintwork
weeks.
on those. Really cool paintwork.
What's
huh?
that?
Great paintwork.
Oh
on
yeah,
those.
you look at yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and most of them he did blanks, but he's doing like he did some paint work with Usher Monsters as a release, and they're just looking phenomenal. Last Resort Toys, of course, another LA guy. He's been doing kind of the upscale Diener Eraser aliens. He did the XL size trash bag bunch figures like Lice Plant and Muckoid. So he continues to put those out via Kickstarter. And then our friend of the channel, Barbarian Rage, he completed his first Kickstarter this year with the intent for the purpose of putting out a comic book. Using not traditional art, but actually making toys, making figures to actually tell the story in his comic book. And this is something he's wanted to do for years, and Kickstarter allowed him to do that. So it's kind of cool the different ways that people are managing to put out these small release things, especially when you're only dealing with such limited runs. You only making 5 of them, you're only making 25 of them, whatever it is, and you're figuring out how to get those out there to everybody quickly. And then when it's time to go bigger, you got to figure out, all right, how can I scale up? And the way that they're using programs like Kickstarter to really make that happen. So there has been, like I said, a lot of good stuff that came out. There was more than I could bring into my home. There was a lot more that I would have liked to have had to show you here in person, but I would say not too shabby for the year that was.
All right, so thanks, Travis, for sharing that stuff. Yeah, it was a fairly slow year. I don't know. Well, because I'm into like 1/6 scale collecting, but I had to scale back significantly on that this year because of everything going on. I was like, okay, you know what? Right now, it's kind of not the time for that kind of stuff. And so I really started focusing on a lot more smaller stuff. But not only that, I kind of like stepped away from the higher end boutique brands and just started kind of picking up a lot more of the third party kind of 1/6 scale brands, because obviously they're a lot more affordable. But another thing is that they've been releasing a lot. I mean, they release stuff that Hot Toys and Sideshow Collectibles would never release. I mean, things that they've teased it, but they've never released it. I mean, like, for example, like a lot of the X-Men films. I've always been a fan of X-Men comics, but as well as the films. And in many respects, I've kind of enjoyed some of the X-Men films a little bit more than the Avengers films and stuff like that. Not all of them, of course. Some of them were kind of trash, but still, it's like, I mean, X-Men has always been kind of like my favorite. And so, I have been able to pick up a couple of X-Men as it relates to 1/6 scale. And these kind of came a little bit later in the year because a lot of stuff was held up because of COVID, in customs and all kinds of stuff. But actually, the latest one that I got was this one. It's from a company called Toys Era. It's and they call her the Mystery, but it's basically Mystique from the film. And it's really cool because this one comes with all kinds of accessories. She comes with like an additional outfit, and then like these clear guns, an additional head sculpt, and also under that, she has her blue body. So it's like if you wanted to take it off and all that, she'd have her blue body as she appears, in the original films. So that was kind of like a cool find. And I also like these really cool like clear guns that she has, the plastic guns that she had to sneak and stuff in the movie and all that. Like that's like pretty awesome.
not licensed, unlicensed.
Yes, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, unlicensed. Another one that they released, which was pretty cool. I mean, it's got a little weird stuff on it. Like they did a beast, and it's funny because it's got like this little. It's sort of like these furry parts. They're actually attached to the suit. It's not like under the suit. So it's like if you took off the whole suit, it'd probably just be like some blue plastic figure. But it's like I don't know. It's got like this fuzzy stuff. It's sort of like it's like if he had like was wearing a pajama. You see that? It kind of comes apart. It's like a little goofy. But still, other than that, I mean, I think this like sculpt, like the head sculpt, is just amazing. He also came like an additional. No, I don't think he came with an additional outfit, but he's just like really awesome. And like I said, like companies like Sideshow and Hot Toys do not release these figures, and they're significantly cheaper than they would be if you bought them from Hot Toys or Sideshow. So, but either way, those are like two of my favorite of 2010 that I've picked up as far as it relates to 1/6 scale, and I haven't really picked up too much. Some of the other things I've done.
Who makes it? Sorry, who makes those, Dane?
A company called Toys Era. It's a company called Toys Era, and then there's also another company called Soo Toys. That's SOOSOO Toys, and they also do X-Men figures as well. I started collecting wrestling again, like wrestling figures. I used to collect the Jakks Pacific back in the day, and all the 80s stars and stuff like that. But the Elite and Mattel's been coming out with a lot of pretty decent ones lately. And honestly, like possibly like I remember one day I was like at a Walmart and I was looking for an Undertaker for somebody. And then I realized that they had released this whole line of retro like figures and stuff. And they had like, I saw this Kane figure. Kane was one of my favorite, and he's still one of my favorite wrestlers from back then, especially around the SmackDown era and stuff. When he started coming out and he'd come out with the fire, I just thought he was just a great, fun character. And every single iteration of him was just kind of awesome. But actually this company called Ringside Collectibles that specializes in selling these things, they came out with this exclusive of The Undertaker as Kane. And this one, like, just kind of, I mean, it's phenomenal. I was like totally blown away by this figure, and I totally had to have it. But yeah, there you see it's The Undertaker, and he's got a couple of masks there and stuff, and yeah, it's just him kind of cosplaying as Kane. And I don't remember exactly when it took place, but this actually happened during one of the televised shows and stuff. So it's like a really cool like kind of version of Kane, and that's part of the reason I picked it up. But
I think what was really cool about that one is like Kane, he had like the one sleeve that was open, and when it came out, no one really noticed that he was had both those sleeves covered to cover his tattoos or whatnot. So I thought it was a pretty cool figure.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm definitely pleased with it, and thanks for that fact, Jesse, because yeah, you've been more of a fan longer than I have. I've come and gone, so it's like I don't know if I'd be like a true fan, like a 100% true fan, but I have my reasons why I've come and gone from it. But still, it's like it's I mean, I don't watch it nowadays, but I do go back and watch a lot of the stuff from the 90s, late 90s, mid 90s, early 90s, 80s, and some 70s stuff. But I gotta say, this one right here is possibly like, I don't know, one of my
great display.
Yeah, it's like, this was also, I think, like a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. It's Andre the Giant. And I just had to have this one. I mean, the price was great, but not only that, I've seen a lot of Andre the Giant figures, and the head sculpt just looks goofy. And then this one, I'll put some better pictures, but this one, it's just pretty spot on. I mean, it's just fantastic. And around this time, this was around the time when I really, really started watching wrestling, and that's what I like the most about this Andre the Giant. And it commemorates his appearance in that WrestleMania where they were coming out in these carts that like these floats that were like wrestling rings, and so it's just kind of, it's really cool. I'm gonna take them out. I really like how he looks in the box, but I want to take him out and just kind of display him. It's just, as you can see,
Is
what
that the one that plays music?
what's that?
Is that the one that plays music? Like if you push a button, it plays like the entrance music, or
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does. And it's weird because this is commemorating his match with Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
But Ringside Collectibles, they put it out. They put out another figure from the same WrestleMania, but it's of Macho Man.
yeah.
And you know, with a ring as well. And I'm just kind of wondering, why didn't they put out the Hulk Hogan? I don't know. Maybe they'll do that eventually, but I don't know. But yeah, it's wrestling. I mean, those. I mean, I was really happy to kind of start getting back into smaller stuff because, you know, that way, because 160 will take so much space. And it's funny because Isaac, this is actually something that I picked up from you, because I remember when I interviewed you and you were just kind of, I mean, yeah, I saw some of those bigger like soft vinyl stuff, and you started talking to me about how you're really just trying to get a lot more smaller stuff. It's like you didn't give up collecting, but you were like, you know what? It's gotten to the point where it's like, you know, it's like you can still keep collecting, but if you just kind of get smaller stuff, and that's great because, you know, like I said, it doesn't take up as much space, and it doesn't cost as much as well, and then it's like you could just kind of keep going, you know, and so one thing that I always used to say, I was always very anti-pop until, you know, I saw these guys, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. These were just kind of like, these were the first pops I ever bought, and it was just kind of, I mean, these figures are incredible, and I haven't seen many of them. You know, Jesse, there has been a couple of other companies that have released them. Was it Muck Time or who was it? Did some other
Clowns?
uh,
Killer Clowns?
yeah, didn't some company release Killer Clowns, like 7-inch ones or something?
Mock Time and Soda Toys.
Yeah, and so it's like, I mean, I haven't had a chance to get those. Hopefully we'll see some more in the future.
Those go for like hundreds of dollars now. All those
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah, and so I mean, the pops, I mean, they just look fantastic. I mean, it's like they're really cool. I mean, especially because they're clowns, the color, everything. It just,
Yeah, it breaks the mold of the head sculpt too. It's not just your average pop, you know, square head, you know.
Yeah,
exactly. And so yeah, you know, I found myself getting some of those, a couple of other like Disney pops, stuff like that. But for 2020, I think that's a pretty cool toy. And I don't know if they came out last year and I just got them in 2020, but you know, it was like a cool like 2020 find. And then also one quick thing is this Alien 2-pack of They Live from NECA.
yeah.
This was like, yeah,
So good.
yeah,
So good.
yeah, and it was like, you know, it sucks because right as COVID hit, these came out, and when COVID hit, I wasn't going anywhere, and I knew they were out at Frankenstein. I think, Jesse, did you get yours at Frankenstein?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, and didn't they sell out? Did they sell out?
Halloween 3 is the one that sold out like
Okay.
right off the bat.
Yeah, because, well, I remember it was like, well, I wasn't gonna go to Frankenstein. I didn't feel comfortable going and stuff, and then I just kind of lost hope in getting them. And then yeah, luckily Toy Depot had he didn't have many, and he was like, you know, I told him, dude, like he showed that he had them. I remember I asked him if he was gonna get them, and he said no. And then one day he posted them. I said, dude, can you hold them for me? He's like, dude, I got one more. And I'm like, all right, well, please hold it for me. And he held it for me. And so yeah, it's a great set. I don't know if I want to take it out of the box, but I think eventually.
Great package though. That package is great.
Yeah, and then just, you know, the back, it's got this cool kind of like black and white stuff and all that. And so
Did you order the Roddy Piper?
no, I want to get that, you know, and but I'm just debating whether to get it with the movie or not. And so because I already have have it on Blu-ray, but you know, I think I may end up getting it. You know, it's the thing is that with those kind of figures, I'll get them because, you know, I did make a custom Roddy Piper one in 1/6 scale, but you know, I don't know. I'll probably go ahead and get them if yeah, I think I'll go ahead and get them. You know, it should be cool. But yeah, there was that, and then, you know, I also got those Trick or Treaters as well, which were pretty awesome, and those I found at a Target of all places. Of all places, it was like, yeah, it was like the only one at a Target. One day, just randomly, I'm at Target and I grabbed it like right away, and that's another thing that Mike said from Toy Depot that he wasn't gonna have, and then all of a sudden he had it, and then that's why when he got them, that's where I picked that setup for you, Isaac, because I was like, I knew that you wanted it. So, but and then I guess another little fun thing, and this is actually something I found today. I don't know if you guys ever hit Daiso Japan. Nice little Japanese kind of dollar store deal. They're all over Los Angeles, especially around the South Bay, Little Tokyo, Alhambra. But today we were like at Daiso Japan, and I occasionally buy art supplies and all kinds of other knickknacks and electronics. But one thing that we saw today, actually, I was out with Daniel, my son, and we saw today caught both of our eyes, and we thought it was really, really cool. It's these kind of it's this little like build a robot set, and it's really cool because it's got like some pretty decent articulation, and it's like they got different colors, and it's sort of like I mean, it doesn't look all clunky and goofy. It looks like a Gundam or something like that, like a really cool mecha. And so I got the red one, and he got the blue one. And the idea is like to basically grab these, and you could, I want to go back. If I find some more, I want to get them, just do some mix and match configurations. But also, we were like, we're going to be painting these like on New Year's Eve. It's one of the things we're going to be doing. We're just going to kind of be painting them. But I mean, it's really cool. I mean, they don't have like an amazing amount of articulation, but it's just enough to do a couple of really cool things here and there. I mean, the head turns and you could swap the parts and all that. But I mean, I just thought it was like a fantastic toy for about $1.49. And so I love mecha, I love Japanese stuff, manga, Gundam stuff. I had Gunplay, and this is just kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I just thought this was fantastic. And then like last but not least, and I did a video of these, is the Masters of the Universe Origin stuff. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a lot of, it sucks because I got like wave 1. It's up to like wave 3. I think wave 3 hit overseas. Like it hit like Canadian markets and European markets. Wave 2, however, was kind of like order only. Like it's only been like available like through mail order, and I have managed to get a few. Like Trapjaw, like I was able to get like a Trapjaw and a Manny Faces, but either way, they're really great. They're just kind of like this nice reimagination of, of Masters of the Universe. They have really cool articulation, and they're just, I mean, the packaging is awesome. Nice throwback to the 80s, and it's just like, it's just incredible, and so it's just, I've been, very happy with them. And, I hope that the line continues, although, I mean, who knows where it's going to go, because, right now it's like these Walmarts have stockpiled, like, you go to a Walmart, you can find a Skeletor. There's tons of Skeletors. There's like a massive, and so it's like, these things are already going on clearance. I've heard reports of some of wave 1 already going on clearance. And so I'm afraid that if this doesn't go as Mattel planned, they may, I wouldn't be surprised if they cut it off like at wave 6, wave 7. But I'm hoping that I can at least get as many of them as possible before the line ceases to exist. So, but anyway, that's about all I have, guys. And Jesse and Isaac, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure having you guys. It's always, we always have a lot of fun. We normally go we normally go a lot longer than we did today, because we will talk and talk and talk. But thank you guys for providing your input, sharing, your favorites from 2020 and stuff like that. We really appreciate you guys taking the time. So Isaac, why don't you go ahead and tell us, how can people find you? Actually, tell us about your podcast. People.
Number one toy of the year. We didn't even talk about it. No one even mentioned it. Baby Yoda. How come not one of us of all of that's the number one seller of the year? I mean, you wouldn't believe how many of those green hockey pucks sold. That little guy. But yeah, you can find me at RealFan at Instagram at RealFanShitOnly. That's my old handle that I've been using for years. I have a new project called Peace.Sports on Instagram, and I'm trying to run some new projects out of that. And I got started a podcast this year, interviewing creative people. We got 12 episodes out, all about like 30 minutes to like an hour each, and you can find that at the Gratitude Attitude Show, wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, and next year I'm gonna keep on doing more of those podcasts. I got a few new lined up, and I've been making a lot of stickers. So text me, you guys, your addresses, and I'll put you guys on the sticker list. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
Jesse, like, where can people find you? Tell us about your channel and stuff, and your like your Instagram and all that stuff.
I'm on YouTube now. I started earlier this year, being bored and having a bunch of toys. So I figured, why not open them up, review them, talk about them, vlogging, that kind of stuff. And you can find me at Hackem Figures on YouTube, and same thing on Instagram, Hackem Figures. I started as a toy photographer, so I got a lot of toy photography there, digital, film. I throw little mini reviews up there, and just whatever interests me, horror, wrestling, movies, all that kind of stuff. Is just kind of my Instagram is just a mix of all kinds of, especially my stories. It's a mix of just everything that I like. And yeah, thanks for having me, guys. You guys are all cool. This was kind of neat. I do got a question for all you guys though. What are you guys looking forward to 2021 as far as toys?
You know what, man? I'm trying to get Nebula, the Hot Toys Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's like that. If that's the last toy I get ever.
That'd make a cool toy. Did they make anything of that?
Yes. And she's I saw somebody, he had one in her DTOF. I don't know, in his DTOF, I don't know if it was a custom, but man, that is the figure.
What about an exploded one? How cool would that be, where she's all separated? That would be really cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm hoping for 2021. If I could get that, and actually the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors in one way or the other. But yeah.
I'm getting that little Dicky. I'm getting that guy. I'm gonna get some way. I'm gonna get that weird guy with the underwear for sure.
I plan on. I mentioned them earlier, but I'm really looking forward to that re-release of the larger Madball popper style figures coming out from Megalopolis. They just look incredibly impressive. They're huge for that line, sculpted by James Groman, coming with accessories. I'm super excited about them.
Yeah, I ordered the Mad Balls as well, and on the very last day of the Kickstarter, I backed the Tim Clark Boglins. So both of those, I can't wait till they come in.
Cool. Great. Thanks for that question. That was a great question, Jesse. So Jack, where can people find you? How where are you at, man?
I'm on Instagram, GraphAngel1 art or something like that. Lots of music, lots of toys on that Instagram. But I just discovered something random on YouTube, and I've been in the film industry for years. Apparently some crappy movie that I worked on called American Mummy. It's a horror movie. If any of you guys want to waste 2 hours of your time, you can watch this. I'm the first person to die in the movie. I've never actually watched it. However, on YouTube, I found a Hindi dub of it. And so somebody has like legitimately dubbed me in Hindi dying. And I really feel like they captured the essence of who I am. So don't watch the original, just go watch the Hindi dub of American Mummy and watch me die. After the first 10 minutes, you can turn it off.
Sounds epic.
It's totally awesome. So that's it.
All right, cool. Travis.
Well, I'm not going to beat that, but you can find me on Instagram at The Enemy Planet. It's chock full of toy collections and toy photography and toy making and, just toy love all around.
Yeah, thanks again for joining us. And to all of you for joining us. Once again, this was Roger Daniel for the Magnificent World of Toys. May those who play never gray. Take care.